Hello everyone, I'm DN Maolo, and today we will be continuing this series where I react to videos in my Watch Later playlist. Yeah, right. Today I decided to take a quick break while working on my web comic, which I am very behind on. Seriously, it's been 4 months since I last uploaded it on to Webtoon and all that, which is not good. I really should be get, doing it and all that. Although, then again, I guess not too much. Many people care about it. Last time I checked, no, pretty much nobody reads it. Honestly, I can't blame them. Since it's not. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it does have some qualities. And also, if you like the Legend of Zelda, then I've put in like a couple each eggs right here. Like for example, this here hairstyle. Yeah, that you see right here. Look closely and let me know if it seems familiar to you. Know that, yeah, a couple of characters to have hair that is somewhat based off the hairstyle of Link and in previous in some games and all that. But yeah. Hmm. Well, anyway, enough talking about my webcomic that nobody reads and all that. Time for me to react to a video that nobody will watch because the honestly the only videos on my channel anybody seems to watch are the my animations reactions. Where I react to videos by animations and all that. Hey, anyway, let's get on with it now. Where is the entrance to Ganondorf's cave? Breath of the Wild 2 this is how you can tell that it's an older video because it's titled Breath of the Wild 2 instead of Tears of the Kingdom and all that. Featuring Hyrule Gamer and all that. So yeah, two YouTubers that I do think are very good. I know we both worked on this video, and honestly, I would encourage you to maybe check it out and all that. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, let's get on with it now.
Zelda's 35th anniversary is right around the corner, and while that doesn't guarantee we'll get any new information about Breath of the Wild sequel anytime soon, there is at least an increased chance of this happening. If and when Nintendo announces, say, a 3D Zelda collection, it would be the perfect opportunity to share some additional info on the development of Breath of the Wild 2, just like they did with the announcement of Twilight Princess HD in 2015. Yes, Aonuma did state that we have to wait a bit longer back when Age of Calamity was announced, but that was 5 months ago. What constitutes as quote-unquote a bit longer? I'd say close to half a year definitely meets that criteria, especially considering that the initial reveal of the game is now well over 1.5 years ago.
I remember that. Quite exciting times that was.
Time sure flies. With the anniversary now closing in, I thought it would be fitting to revisit Breath of the Wild 2's trailer one last time and talk about something many have wondered and theorized about. Namely, where could the entrance to the underground cave system be, as well as the room where Ganondorf is located? Well, today we will explore just that. I will be exploring just that.
What is up, everyone? It's your boy, Hyrule Gamer.
Oh god, what have I gotten myself into this time?
Oh, come on, Monster Man. We've been talking about a collab for a long time now. What better timing than before the 35th anniversary, right?
But I just did a collab with Mass Nintendo Bandit. I don't know if this is the right time.
I'll give you a free Hyrule Gamer t-shirt.
Damn it, sir, you strike a hard bargain. You got yourself a deal. Take it away.
Before we get into possible locations, we first have to establish some things about the reveal trailer itself. Monster Maze addressed this before in his video about the chronology of the trailer, and that is that this
Oh, really? Huh. I have not seen that video. I should check that video sometime.
doorway we see right here is likely not the entrance to the entire cave system, but instead leads straight into the room where Ganondorf resides. Some giveaways are the dim lighting and rock walls and floor, which hints that this is already deep underground somewhere, but not out in the open. Second are the decorations of what seems to be a boar-like figure, eerily similar to Ganondorf's alter ego, Ganon. There are even more little details that hint to this being true, but you'll just have to watch Monster Maze's video for that, which is an amazing video by the way. Just absolutely stunning work. Wait, are you purposely writing this in the script to make me praise your video?
No?
Well, alright then. Anyway, on to the next point. Ever since the trailer premiered at E3, the main consensus has been that the room where the corpse is located is in all probability underneath Hyrule Castle somewhere. But we do have to keep in mind that these are just speculations and nothing more. There was a recent fake leak about Breath of the Wild 2, a supposed pamphlet published by Nintendo stating that Ganondorf is deep within the caverns underneath Hyrule's capital. But this is not legitimate information. It has since been revealed that this wasn't an official Nintendo publication and wasn't even referring to the sequel, but rather the original Breath of the Wild. Regardless, the chances of this room being under the castle is still very likely. Given Calamity Ganon's nature of rising from the depths of the castle and the fact that we see malice flowing outwards from the corpse, it is the scenario that holds the most weight, where the malice accumulates over time, slowly building up until there is enough of it to rise up to the surface and launch another attack on Hyrule's populace. We also see the malice violently hit the ceiling, only to see Hyrule Castle rise up a few shots later. However, we have to remain open to the idea that the two events are completely unrelated. Maybe the castle doesn't even rise until the later stages of the game, who knows? Until we get more information on the game, anything goes really. Despite this, we will still base our predictions on this room being inside or at least close to the castle.
I know, I just was sitting. I really need to watch a full through of this game. I mean, yeah, I did, start, when the game came out, I started watching, some let's plays of it and all that, but I guess I kind of had fallen off a bit on that. But yeah, I really should watch full through. And again, I'm saying I should watch a full playthrough instead of playing the game because I can't fully get to that game. In fact, I don't even own a Nintendo Switch. Not that. Yeah. But hey, if you really want me to, just one day just play this game, then subscribe, check out my Patreon, and that. Yeah, I got a Patreon set up. Yeah, yeah, I have 0 patrons, and said really do anything with the Patreon account. So, but if you show up there, you could change that and all that. Yeah, I would definitely, give you a shout out at the end of a video if you become a patron on my Patreon and all that. So, yeah.
Since, as stated before, based on the little info we have, it is the most credible option by a long shot.
With that in mind, if the room containing the sealed Gerudo King is located here, then Link and Zelda have to be traveling towards it from somewhere else. And judging by the sheer amount of equipment they brought with them, this doesn't seem to be a short trip either. Some of the things they are carrying include bundles of wood, cooking equipment, mattresses, an axe. what seems to be a steel lantern, which kinda makes me wonder why they are carrying torches, and all kinds of extra bags filled with other stuff. From the other angle, we can see a box strapped to the animal in front of the saddle, and another green tubular-shaped object in front of that, which could be a tent of some kind. We can even see Link grabbing something from one of the bags in this shot. It's not clear what it is, even with the enhancements to the image, but judging from the fact that they are close to a water source, I'd say it's probably a water satchel to collect some of that good old H2O. All this combined leads me to believe that this is a trip spanning across multiple days. Why else would you bring equipment to spend the night, like mattresses and even entire wood bundles to build a campfire? In real life, cavers usually don't carry equipment like this, as it would just get in the way, unless they are expecting a long expedition underground. If the
Okay, honestly, it's just this. I don't think I could ever, just go through, tight spaces like this, and I would just be too scared of getting stuck and all that. Like, ugh, oh my god, that is just terrifying and all that. Like, man, you gotta be a real gutsy person in order to do, stuff like
would just get in the
this
way,
and all that.
unless
Yeah.
they are expecting a long
Just look at this. Oh man. oh, oh man. Oh no, thank you.
expedition underground. If the entrance to this cave system was close to Hyrule Castle, and say Ganondorf is located right underneath the Astral Observatory, as an example, you likely wouldn't need this much stuff, not to mention an entire packing animal. They could just dig straight down into the underground chamber from the numerous quarries already present at the castle. Instead, the evidence suggests that the cave's actual entrance is somewhere far away from the capital, and Link and Zelda made a long journey to Ganondorf from there, perhaps even unaware that their path was leading to the castle's depths.
Which brings us to the first candidate in the list, the giant hole inside the Yiga clan hideout. This location is definitely far enough from the castle that it would require a multi-day caving expedition to get there. Some even suggest that this hole was perhaps created with the sole purpose of finding Ganondorf's whereabouts. As far as locations around Hyrule go, this and the chasm surrounding the Gerudo Tower nearby are the only things close to a pre-existing underground entrance with no
It's funny is that one thing I do know about Tears of the Kingdom is that in the depths you do meet, I believe his name is Master Koga. The guy who gets pushed down that big hole in Breath of the Wild and all that. Like you do end up seeing him again. So yeah. I mean that hole does definitely reach down into the caverns down below. So
visible bottom. Definitely suspicious to say the least. But there are also some problems with this idea. It's clear from the trailer itself that the duo is moving along a linear path towards their destination. Not just a linear path, but also a horizontal one. They don't seem to be caving or spelunking as it is often referred to. Neither Link or Zelda is wearing a harness, nor are they seen carrying any ropes. You might say, well, maybe they do, but they are in one of the bags on the animal. Which raises the question, how did the animal get down there? This creature bears a strong resemblance to a rhinoceros, at least in terms of size. I'd say it's probably even bigger than that, judging from the size comparison. The average weight of a white rhinoceros is already around 2,300 kilograms, or 2.3 tons. Factor in all of the equipment it's carrying, and you'd need quite a lot of rope and effort to get this thing down here. The bottom of the Yiga hole isn't visible, but we can actually make a rough estimate of how deep it is. In the Champion's Ballad DLC, Link needs to drop an orb into it to reveal a shrine. After the orb is dropped, it takes about 8 seconds until we hear the ball activating the pedestal. We do hear the ball rattling beforehand, but it's likely hitting the side walls a couple of times before it lands. It usually takes a second or so for the pedestal to activate, so let's say 7 seconds. This is very crude of course, as there are multiple factors that go into a calculation like this, like the initial velocity and the ball hitting the side walls, which would slow it down a bit, but we're going to do this lazily. Boom. 7 seconds. That is about 240 meters or 780 feet high, 2/3 of the Empire State Building, or 160 tingles. That is quite a long way down.
Empire State Building. Wow.
You would probably need at least 3 or 4 ropes to balance and carry the weight of this beast, which means close to a kilometer or 0.6 miles of rope to get the job done. Alternatively, since this is a fantasy game, they could have used the Sheikah Slate to teleport the animal down, I guess. But first off, we don't even know if that technology is still working at this point. And second, the Sheikah Slate can only teleport to shrines, towers, or a location set by the travel medallion. We know the shrine is not inside the hole, only the pedestal, so the only plausible way would be if Link or Zelda climbed down beforehand, set up a warp point with the medallion, and then teleported the animal down.
While this is all possible, it seems like a lot of effort and busy work for something they don't even know is going to lead anywhere. So let's look at some alternatives. Places that don't require hoisting a multi-ton animal down and are more easy to reach, like the underground trial at the Great Plateau, for instance. Yes, the Shrine of Resurrection serves not only as a medical facility, but the entire room itself is also an elevator that sends you quite deep underground. A lot more convenient for bringing a large animal and heavy equipment with you, I would say. The shrine isn't as far from Hyrule Castle as the Yiga hideout, but would still span all the way across Hyrule Field, which could still take a few days to get there and back again. This would also be a way to have Monk Mas Koshia play an additional role in the story, as he is the only monk not to disappear into thin air once you complete his test. Maybe he reveals a hidden path somewhere in the underground trial which leads into this cave system, or the elevator can go even further down. Then we have 2 other viable locations, Faron or somewhere inside the Hebra Mountains. Faron speaks for itself, blah 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 Zonai. Not only would it tie into the Zonai motif we see sprinkled throughout the underground caves, but it would also be far enough away from the castle to warrant a long journey underground. We've already seen a doorway leading to a shrine inside the Spring of
Now, once again, I just press for a moment to say, I really truly do love how beautiful this game is and all that. Yeah, it's definitely, a very, very beautiful
courage.
game.
So who's to say there isn't another one of these doorways located somewhere inside the dense forest of Faron? We even see a bridge down in the caves that looks like a larger variant of the Sargon Bridge found above ground. A hidden entrance like this may lead down more gently as opposed to a straight drop or the need for an elevator. Instead, it would slowly descend step by step, like a mine shaft. Next we have the Hebra Mountains. Care to take this one, HG?
Sure, why
Hmm. No, I think the last one is more likely than this one. Not that. No, but if I were to do a bit of research, I could actually find the answer since, the game theorizing part is already out. Oh, man. Poor timing to make a video reacting to this video.
not? Now, you might be thinking, why Hebra of all places? Well, one
Well, because there's a lot of mountains, and where there's mountains, there are lots of caves. So yeah, go down a few caves, and yeah.
once again,
He's gonna say it.
secret doors.
Oh, for a second
yeah,
there, I
those.
thought you were gonna say something else.
Secret Zonai doors.
There we go.
Oh.
Yes. Well, the Zonai
I didn't know there was Zonai doors over there. Oh, that's interesting.
are quite the cliche at this point. We can't ignore the Zonai architecture down in the caves. Some might think that Hebra doesn't really have much to do with the Zonai, aside from the North Lomai Labyrinth, right? Well, actually, we find a total of 2 secret doors leading into the mountains, one leading to a shrine, and the other to the cave containing the Hebra Great Skeleton, and an additional shrine. In both cases, the door features Zonai decorations on it, the same ones found on some of the other structures. Perhaps there are more of these doors hidden somewhere within this massive mountain range, one of which leading down and towards Hyrule Castle. The only problem here would be the harsh temperature. I'm not sure if the packing animal could handle the extreme cold, though we do see the great horned rhinoceros in this region who have adapted to the frigid conditions of Hebra, but until we know about this new species of animal, we can't say for sure if they would be up to the task. Either way, if the entrance is located here somewhere, it would probably be of a similar kind as the one found in Faron, a gentle descent down into the earth rather than a deadly drop down into the abyss. Lastly, we have some honourable mentions. We have the Sheikah Towers themselves, who some theorists like HMK have suggested may double as an elevator leading down. They rose from the deep underground after all, so maybe they can also send us down, similar to the Shrine of Resurrection. Then we have the Forgotten Temple, which is already half buried deep inside a canyon. It too could potentially hold a secret
True, yeah, this is the temple from the from Skyward Sword and all that. Yeah.
Entrance, perhaps behind the giant Hylia statue. Speaking of statues, the 8th heroine is another candidate. Some believe this statue to represent Ganondorf, and if true, what would be a more fitting location for a secret entrance?
I'm not too certain about that theory of it representing Ganondorf. I'm quite doubtful of that theory.
Towards his sealed corpse, than hidden behind a statue in his honor.
Those are all great options as well. Which reminds me, aren't you doing a video about secret locations hidden around Hyrule?
I sure am. So, if you will, head over to my channel where Monster Maze and I continue this journey across Breath of the Wild's Hyrule, and look at 5 mysterious locations and ruins across Hyrule and go into some mini theories about them.
Awesome. Be sure to go check it out. Oh, and if you have your own suggestions as to where this mysterious cave entrance could be, feel free to share them down in the comments. I'm always interested in new ideas. Now, we could of course be totally overthinking this, given the fact that we have so little to go on.
Speaking of comments, I think I might as well go down below and check them out. Check out the comments. Maybe we'll find answers in the comments. Man, 4 years old.
Maybe Link and Zelda carry all this equipment around in case of a cave-in, and they need to spend the night waiting for rescue. Or this entire section isn't even in the game, and it's just part of the teaser. Maybe the entrance is actually at Hyrule Castle. Alternatively, maybe Ganondorf's bod isn't even at Hyrule Castle, but in a completely different location. Hopefully, we will find out more soon. A huge thanks to Hyrule Gamer for being my partner in crime for this one. Don't forget to check out his video as well, which will again star us both as we search for some more secrets around Hyrule. And as always, a big thanks to my Patreons and channel members, of which I have one new hero joining the maze. Thank you to Kiliana Brennan for becoming my latest member. Your awesomeness is only matched by your generosity. Thank you for joining. And that is all for now. This is Dawn signing off, and have a good one.
Is there any more recent ones? I guess they're not. Newest. There we go. There we go. Go to comment section. Oh. Damn, I forgot to like that one. Oh well, I guess according to the comments, where yeah, it doesn't actually show the actual entrance there. Anyway, goodbye. I'll be ending the video now.